Thank you, Ms. Raj. Right now, we're hearing from our federal procurement officers that they're basically being bombarded by companies wanting to demonstrate the promise of their products, and they have no shortage of promises that they are presenting. My question for you is, how can we ensure that the federal agencies avoid being caught up in what's clearly AI hype right now around the country, and spend taxpayer money responsibly on services that will actually deliver tangible results for the American people?
Thank you, Senator, for your question. As a former small business owner, we have to continuously rise against the same noise to provide the best quality computer vision for our customers. We first started working with the U.S. government in 2017, and in 2017, we were one of the handful of Silicon Valley companies working with the U.S. government. Now we see large tech companies with massive internal resources, or a handful of companies that are being massively funded by venture capitalists in the hopes that they can land meaningful contracts from the U.S. government in AI. So I think I've got 2 points. The first is point 1 and 3 of my oral testimony. For federal agencies looking to bring in AI technology, it is important to have data sets that are curated and readily available not during the contracting solicitation time, as well as during when the contracting is evaluated. Models can be benchmarked even before the technology can be acquired. Often when we worked on contracts, waiting for government-furnished data was the longest lead time on contracts. So for faster evaluation, the less taxpayer money is spent. I want to commend NGA. They've been doing a great job getting their data ready for AI. And then secondly, to your point, right, anyone can download AI models off the internet and claim AI expertise. So again, having testing and evaluation data sets ready, both at the contracting process and throughout the entire execution of the contract, it'll be easier for procurement officials to be able to both find and evaluate tech through quantitative and qualitative means.
Great, thank you. Dr. Lee, as legislators work to establish key values for the American use of AI, the idea of explainability has received substantial attention. However, building responsibility and trust into the use of AI seems like it's going to require more than just an understanding of the math behind a model. Could you offer some specific suggestions as to how we ought to prioritize when evaluating AI systems for potential use by federal agencies?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Actually, explainability is a very much used word in the talks of AI. If we think about it, it's actually a very nuanced word. I'll give you an example that's not AI. For example, you talk about math. You know, when a bottle drops, we can actually use Newtonian mathematical equation to explain why the bottle drops. But when it comes to the usage of Tylenol, other than some doctors and biomedical researchers, even as a consumer, I don't know how to explain Tylenol works. Yet there is an explainable process of how federal government has regulated so that I can trust it. Or another example of using Google Map to go from point A to point B. There, the explainability is not in mathematical equations, nor in regulatory framework. It's more about the options it has provided to me, the fastest route or the avoid the tolls, and so on. I'm using these 3 examples to show you explainability is a very nuanced term, and depend on the use cases, it depends on the system approach. We have to think about it carefully. And again, I advocate for a systematic approach and thinking about explainability, but do put the human values as well as our society's value at the foreground of this. And depending on how we use it, will require different kind of explainability.
Right. Thank you. Ranking Member Paul, you're recognized for your questions.